All right, we have Judge, or actually Sanji versus Vince Smoke Judge. It's a one piece battle between son and father. Sanji, we know him to be the cook on Strat Pirates. He has hockey. His father is somebody he used to work with, Vegapunk back in the day, and now he leads Germa 66. An army that intends to take over the North Blue, like they, had territory in the North Blue, right? He has, his Germa suit. He has his, clones that he created. Cloning technology, he took it and he used it to create an army. Now that's not going to come into play in this battle. And why am I saying that? Because in the anime, Whole Cake Island, you see their fight. And he used the clone as defense. And it kind of threw Sanji off. This is a fight where it's just man on man, 1v1. Not all that, not all that bullshit, right? So you really see what happens, right? So strength goes to Sanji. Sanji's physically stronger than Smoke Judge. He was stronger during their encounter. Sanji was trying to be respectful a little bit, the best he could. And also, he didn't see, things coming at him, right? Or he didn't see that coming during the fight. This fight has no disruptions from outside. Speed also goes to Sanji. His little, boosters that he has on his feet. Yeah, that shit's not faster than Sanji. Durability goes to Sanji. He's awakened his Germa exoskeleton right now, right? Judge don't have an exoskeleton. He has his Germa armor, right? Sanji has that now, top of his armor in hockey. But endurance goes to Sanji. Sanji's been in longer fights than his father has. And usually when his father goes into battle, he goes into battle with his siblings by his side, right? Sanji's siblings. So that takes some pressure off of him. So they can end fights, earlier. Sanji can be in a long fight with his dad and still win. But it won't be that long, if you ask me. Intelligence goes to Judge, because Judge ain't an idiot. He ain't the brightest man in the world. Obviously, he's actually, somewhat jealous of Vegapunk. But he actually has, vision of, again, like taking over and, ruling. Superior technology and his forces as far as, the German army goes that he's created in his laboratory. Experience goes to Judge. Judge has been around and he has been fighting for a long time. So he'll see Sanji and, he'll know what that is, but he won't. But he won't actually know what that is. So, oh, my son uses a lot of kicks. You don't use swords or anything like that? That's crazy. But Sanji knows, right, that he does, kickboxing, and he's not a, weak kickboxer. He's actually really good at that shit. Close skills go to Sanji, right? Close skills, Sanji has close skills. Range skills go to Judge. He might have a little, gun on him, on the side. He might, pull something out to try to win the fight. He can't pull out, clones to like come defend him or any of that shit in this fight. Not in this fight. They're fighting on Whole Cake Island. They're fighting, in the forest where the creatures were, where Luffy fought against Cracker. That's where they're fighting. Range skills go to Judge, and then recoup goes to Sanji. with the hacks also going to Sanji. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, Sanji has armament and observation haki, and soon maybe conquerors, but not yet. He wouldn't need that because Judge don't have any of that. He has his technology, his suit that he wears. He has his little spear, and that's it. Environment goes to Judge, but at the end of the day, Sanji wins mid diff. He beats Judge mid difficulty. Be cool, call on the corner, and let me know what you think about that fight in the comments.